What's up, Adorama fans? Cooper Naitove here again, and today we're going to do a quick overview of Sigma's newly updated 35mm 1.4 Art Series lens. To test this out, my girlfriend and I played tourist and took a day touring around Brooklyn and Manhattan. I know in my past videos I've said I'm not a huge user of prime lenses, but that comes with one big caveat. I love a 35mm 1.4. Even the most mundane of things becomes awesome when you shoot at 1.4 because it creates that great separation from the background and gives you that beautiful bokeh. And to me, 35mm is really like the sweet spot between wide and telephoto lenses, and so it's perfect for walking around. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you'll know that I'm a huge Sigma fan, so you can tell that I was really excited to get my hands on this lens. Being part of the Art Series means that it was built with Sigma's highest level of optical and physical quality in mind. And you can tell just by picking it up. At just under 1.5 pounds, this isn't the lightest 35mm I've ever used, but that's for a good reason. This lens is built almost entirely of aluminum and has 11 groups and 15 elements. This gives it a super solid feel, and you can tell it was really designed to be a professional piece of equipment. Being an Art Series lens, we all know that this thing is capable of taking stunning images. So rather than waste your time going through tech spec after tech spec, I wanted to tell you about the things in this lens that really set it apart from the competition and that you're really going to notice at first. I was really surprised to find out my favorite feature of this lens was the Autofocus Lock button on the side of the lens. While I figured I wouldn't use an Autofocus Lock button that much, I realized that that button was actually customizable inside the camera. For me, the most frustrating part of shooting with a prime lens is the lack of focal length versatility. So instead of locking focus, I actually set that button up to toggle between APS-C and full frame mode. Being that 35 and 50 are some of my most favorite portrait lenses, I figured this setup would be perfect for walking around. Sure, you could always just punch in on a shot later in post, but it's really nice to be able to compose a shot in camera. Another new feature I thought was really cool on this lens was the manual aperture control ring on the outside. This rotating ring allows you to adjust aperture just like you would on an old analog film lens. If you're more comfortable with the traditional mirrorless camera controls though, just click it over to the A mode and you can adjust the aperture in the camera just like normal. Video shooters are going to love the fact that Sigma has also included a switch for click and declick of the aperture. This means that you can adjust exposure while shooting video seamlessly. So you don't have to worry about accidentally changing your aperture settings. Sigma has also included a switch on the side of the lens to lock your aperture in place. Not only did I love the old school feel of being able to control the aperture on the outside of the lens, it actually also freed up one of the wheels on the camera for customization. So because I didn't need it to control aperture, I actually set my front wheel to control ISO, and that way I had all my most important controls right at my fingertips. These days, one of the most important features of the lens is how fast and how accurate it can autofocus. Honestly, I never found this lens hunting for focus, and even when shooting video in relatively low light, I found this lens had no trouble tracking focus. You can tell that most modern mirrorless camera lenses were designed to be used in autofocus mode because their manual focus rings suck. That is totally not the case with this lens though, and you can tell that Sigma really spent time making sure that this manual focus ring was right. This lens has a perfectly dampened manual control ring and a super long throw, so it gives you that really precise control over your manual focus. With Sigma's new 35mm 1.4 Art Series lens, I really think they struck the perfect balance between analog control and modern features. Its lightning fast autofocus, perfectly dampened manual control ring, and external aperture control ring truly make this the perfect tool for any kind of photographer. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and please let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Have a good one.